Hey everyone, Peter from Data to Value here. In this video, I would like to talk about the high cardinality issue in GA4. First of all, what it is, how you can spot if you have this problem, and how to prevent it from happening in the future. So yeah, let's get started. So first of all, what the high cardinality is in regards of GA4. High cardinality dimension is a dimension that has a lot of unique values. So let's say that you have a custom dimension that stores information about whether the user is logged in, yes or no. So in that case, that dimension has only two possible values, so the cardinality is equal to 2. But let's say that you have a custom dimension that has a user ID in it. So whenever the user is logged in, you have a unique identifier of that user. In that case, if you have 1000 unique visitors per day on your website that are logged in, the user ID custom dimension or user property will have a cardinality of 1000. So there will be 1000 unique values. So as you can see, the cardinality of the dimension can be ranging, from low numbers to really, really high numbers. It really depends on the traffic and what kind of values are you storing in that dimension. And GA4 considers any dimension that has more than 500 unique values per day as a high cardinality dimension. This will be important later. All right, now we know what the high cardinality dimension is. So how the high cardinality dimensions affects your reporting. If you have used Universal Analytics or GA4 in the past, you might have noticed that sometimes in your tables, there's a specific row with the value other. So what does this mean? Is this some kind of issue with our tracking or what's going on? If you see this other dimension in your tables, in your reporting in GA4, it means that a lot of unique values were grouped together in this one simple row, and you will pretty much lose that granularity that you would normally have. Let's say that you have a lot of unique pages on your website, and let's say you have quite a big amount of traffic. You might experience this other row in your page view report when under the other dimension there's a lot of individual pages that were visited few times per day, but were not displayed as an individual row in that table. So why is this happening? So if you are reporting a table in GA4, what's happening on the background is that you are actually reporting from different table, and that table contains multiple dimensions combined with various metrics. So that table, that background table that you don't really see, can get really big, especially if you have multiple combinations. And if this table will reach certain threshold, then you might start experiencing the other column in your reporting. So how can you fight this, right? What are your options to make your reporting much better in GA4 if you are experiencing this high cardinality issue? So you really want to avoid custom dimensions or user properties that contain a lot of unique values. Good examples of that is sending something like session ID, right? If you have a high traffic website, if you have more than 500 sessions per day, you are introducing high cardinality dimension to your data. Another examples could be client ID or user ID or event timestamp, right? Each individual event has its own timestamp, and in that case, you will just introduce these lot of unique values, and you will introduce another high cardinality dimension that you should not really be sending. So first advice is to limit these high cardinality dimensions. If you really need to have a high cardinality dimension in your GA4, then you really want to look at a BigQuery export. In BigQuery, you don't really have to worry about the cardinality. It's raw export, so those tables are not really that heavily processed as the tables that you are seeing in your GA4. So in BigQuery, you don't really have to worry about high cardinality dimensions. In one of my previous videos, I went through the process how you can link your GA4 property to BigQuery, so make sure you will do that. And also it's important to know that this high cardinality issue only applies if you define a custom dimension or user property. So that means that if you are just sending high cardinality parameter to your GA4, then this cardinality issue in the reporting is not occurring. So you might be sending these custom parameters to GA4, but you will not define a custom dimension based on that. and you will still have access to that custom parameter in your BigQuery export. And recently, Google also introduced this option where you can just create an exploration of a report that is pretty much containing this other field. Keep in mind that this exploration might be sampled. So sampling is something different. I'll be talking about that in the next video, but that's also a way how you can bypass this other row appearing in your reports. So yeah, that's the cardinality issue in GA4 and now what you can do about it. I will leave all the links to relevant materials in the description below, and let me know if you have any questions, and yeah, see you in the next one.